My channel. I thought I'd just jump on here to just give you a view of what I went through today. I actually went for a COVID-19 test. So I just want to go through what the test entailed and my experience. Obviously, I was given an address, and stupidly today I went to the wrong place to start off with. My appointment was at between 2 and 2:30, obviously booked on gov.co.uk. That's another subject because obviously booking isn't so straightforward as you may imagine. Anyway, I won't go into that. But as I said before, I went to begin with to the wrong place. So I had to get to the place. I had to get to the place at 2 o'clock. Obviously, my appointment was between 2 and 2:30, so I had a window, a half an hour window. And fortunate for me, I went to the obviously I drove to the wrong place, and then I had to detour to the right place. And fortunate, the duration between where I was and to get to the location was only like 7 minutes away. So that was. I was obviously quite lucky in that respect. And obviously I was driving, so it wasn't too bad. Traffic was good as well, so it was flowing. So back to the story. So when you turn up, you are introduced by the soldiers at the gate, and they tell you to drive obviously to where the table is. So I came through the entrance, greeted by somebody at the gate who was a soldier. He then told me to move slightly forward, and then where the table was further down, turn left, and then there was a table, and where the table was, there was a guy standing near the table, and he was the guy that gave you the kit. So as I drove up to him, pulled down my windows, greeted him, and he gave me this bag, and he said, what you need to do is read the instructions. There's a booklet inside the bag. Read the instructions and then follow the instructions. I was assuming that they were going to do the test for you. How wrong was I? You have to do it yourself. So he told me to park up, which I did. He told me to, as I said, follow the instructions, which I did. So I opened the packet. If I was going to stages, I opened the packet, and in the packet there was a swab to put in your mouth, and also there was a cylinder which had a little bit of water in. And after swabbing, you then put the actual swab inside the tube, and then seal it back, and then close it up because it had a lid on it, obviously. So what I ended up doing was I actually took out the swab itself first of all, and making sure that you don't contaminate it. So making sure that your hand doesn't rub against the tip where you're going to be putting it in your mouth, and obviously into your nose as well. Now I stupidly once again made a mistake, as you do, first attempt of doing this. And what I did was I did my mouth first. Now what you have to do is open your mouth wide enough and get to the point of your tonsils, where your tonsils are, and literally swirl around for about 15 seconds. So 15 seconds of getting right to the back where your tonsils are. And the other thing that you've got to remember, don't touch your tongue. So the swab cannot touch your tongue. If it touches your tongue, then obviously it's like you contaminated it. So you've got to be really careful and open your mouth wide enough to be able to do this. So that was fine. That was fine. So what I did was, instead of me reusing the swab that I had and then inserting it in my nose, I then put the swab into that container. And because I actually thought there was another one, so a separate one for your mouth and a separate one for your nose, but there was only one in there, and the one that was in there was meant to be for your mouth and nose. So I had to ask the guy, one of the soldiers, for another swab, which he was happily able to do so. So with the nose is literally, you get it, you stick it up one of your nostrils, and you go as far as possible for it not to hurt. Obviously my eyes, I went far enough and I could feel my eyes literally watering because of it. So you swab it, literally you turn it slightly side to side, for 15 seconds, take it out, place that again into the tube, and then seal the tube. So after that was done, you then put the tube back in the bag. You also have 2 slips. One has a barcode on it, and the other one has some form of information. The other information, I think it concerns you with your details in. So you put that in the bag also with the tube, and then you seal the bag. Then after that, when I had done that, I put my hazard on, obviously because the soldiers were kind of like talking to someone else. I put my hazard light on, then someone came over and then told me to drive further down. So I was actually had to go to another table where the guy who was waiting for me, he took the bag. I had to put the bag actually into a container where all the other results, results were. And then I had to also make sure that the rubbish that was from opening the package was kept by myself. They didn't obviously have a bin, or they didn't want to take it due to contamination. So they basically said, you have to dispose of that when you get home. So that's what I did. And it was kind of straightforward. I mean, I first of all thought, when I arrived, I thought there was going to be a massive queue. And there wasn't. There was only 2 cars present at the time, which I was quite fortunate about. Was I apprehensive about the test? Yes, I was a bit nervous at the start because obviously this is the first time I've done something like this, and obviously when I researched it, you had a few people that commented about the test, especially the one up the nose, the nostrils, and that kind of made me a little bit, how can you put it, nervous, if you like. But saying that, obviously because you're doing it yourself, it wasn't that bad at all. As I said, it made my eyes water because obviously I think I may have gone too far inserting, but I retracted at a particular point when I thought it was a little bit too much, and I obviously started turning left and right to get the sample, and then that was it. And as I said, it's like 15 seconds in your mouth, 15 seconds in your nose, and then that's it. So it's a simple test. I can reassure you guys, it's a simple test. So this is something that they've obviously introduced that people have to do. And as I said before, it's something that you can do easily, and it's very, very quick and easy. So the next time I have to be tested, I presume, is a month's time. Oh yeah, one more thing before I forget. We also was given one of these leaflets, and on this leaflet it says Department of Health and Social Care, and there's a help desk number. And they did say that obviously if I have any problems or any concerns, then to ring that number. So yeah, you also receive one of those when you do leave, almost like a Christmas card, but not a Christmas card if you like. So drop a comment, and most importantly, keep safe. Goodbye, guys.